come up with a perspective for you all today. I know many of us ask the question, if we were able to accomplish so much in ancient times, what happened to the knowledge? Where is this knowledge that the masters of ancient times were able to create with and to do so many just monumental things in the world? What happened to it? Where did it go? Why are we starting from ground zero, working our way up? Why is there not a level of information being passed down to us? And I want to say the knowledge hasn't gone anywhere, friend. It's just that I believe I'm starting to see that the knowledge is just being safeguarded, if you want to call it that. You could even say they're hoarding the knowledge because this is not the first, we are not the first to ever do it. We're really the least amongst many great ones to ever do it. And there are many that have come before us that squandered the knowledge. What do we do with what little knowledge we do come into contact with? What level of ascension are we adhering to with what little we have? What do we do with the little knowledge that we know of outside of petty things against one another? Could you imagine if the world, even a quarter of the world, came into the full realization of the knowledge that many of the great ones used to create tremendous change in the world? Could you imagine what the world would be like? Could you? It would be awful because everybody would do it their own way. We would not have any type of cadence. We would not have any type of structure. There would be no one there to hold us accountable because every man stands beneath his own olive tree, per se. And anything would go. It would be hell on this planet. You think this life is hell? This life is, it might not be everything you want it to be, but it surely is not hell. But if you could imagine the masses of people just defaulting into this knowledge, not earning it, not learning it from the ground up, but just being passed around through generations from mom and dad to son to daughter, not adhering to any type of lifestyle, not adhering to any type of characteristic to manage the power. This place would be a whole mess. So on one hand, yes, there are many that wonder, and say it's unfair that we don't have this information. But on the other hand, you got to count it as a blessing. Because if we had it and there was no skill put in place to honestly manage it and to live in a way where you are heirs to it as managers of it, heirs to the promise and standing in the total truth of it. And truth means knowledge, to know how to handle yourself with such a blessing. You would make it terrible for many, many people. People that know it also and people that don't. Well, why do I say this? Well, because right now we see many of us that don't really know anything, that find ourselves in situations that we want to be relieved from. And we will tag along to other people. There's some that will tag along to other people, whether in religious settings or in spiritual systems, to use the power of God on a low level, in low doses, to inflict their will in life, to get their way, without any thought of how it affects other people, without any skill of managing it, without any way of looking at all the variables that come into play regarding what they're doing. Just out of selfish desires, they will use what little knowledge they know just to get their way. Now, could you imagine if they came into the total realization, the total truth of all the mysteries and the sciences that really affect change in this world, could you imagine what that would be like? So now it puts another spin on things. It makes you look at things differently. And honestly, it makes you look at things and say, you know what? It may not be fair that only a certain group of people have this knowledge. But I'm here to tell you that God will download knowledge to you. You will default into knowledge just by way of your character ascension. By the way you ascend internally. You will be granted gifts. You won't even have to go look for them. You will be bestowed upon them. You will be bestowed them. I just did a podcast. I'll probably be dropping it tomorrow about how, I did a morning inspiration post about how God never led any of the leaders before the nations and not had them be compensated fairly for it. Well, this takes it a step further, and this speaks to when you ascend spiritually, when you ascend internally and you align to the will of God and you make it a lifestyle. Friend, money is cheap to you. Surely you will need money because that's just the matrix that we live in. But you will be wealthy beyond measure. You will have riches that the ones that have physical wealth don't even have. Your riches will be rare. They will be unique to you and your gifts and your blessings. Money is poor. Money is cheap compared to the blessings that you will be endowed by God because of your dedication, because of your discipline, because of your alignment, and because of your ability not to fall into the traps of making money your God, but by the ability of you staying in alignment and finding and staying in alignment to what really matters, and that is God, making God your primary source in life. You will become rich beyond measure through the blessings of God that attract everything you need. All of your needs will be met. And there won't be anything anybody can do about it. I wanted to come on with that. I was just scrolling social media, so I wanted to drop that. You love more than you'll ever know. I'll never stop telling you. Be good to yourselves and be good to one another. Peace and love.